You can't make this stuff up. I've said before that bad news for NFTs is the best kind of news. I'm just so sick of the NFT landscape, what they've enabled, the scams, the schemes, the crimes, the theft. And this latest story is chef's kiss as far as highlighting the folly of engaging with this wild, wild west of a scene. This story concerns Seth Green, yes, the actor. Gamers in particular might know him as the voice of Joker in the Mass Effect series, and he has been pursuing this endeavor of taking Bored Ape Yacht Club and turning that into a show, and that has been hampered by the fact that Seth Green fell for a phishing scam that has led to his NFTs getting stolen, the NFTs that are required to actually have the rights to produce the show. I'm not kidding, this is real, and let's dive right into it. So it all began with this tweet by Seth Green on May 17th, 2022, which reads, "Well, friends, it happened to me. Got fished and had 4 NFTs stolen. Bored Ape Yacht Club, OpenSea, Doodles, Yuga Labs, please don't buy or trade these while I work to resolve. Darkwing84, looks like you bought my stolen ape. Hit me up so we can fix it." And you can see right here the images of the NFTs that got stolen, among them being Bored Ape Yacht Club stuff that Seth Green was planning to base the show on. Scrolling down through the responses, you can see that there is very little sympathy for this man who, should have known what he's gotten into in this completely unregulated scene where scams, schemes, cons, theft, and all that jazz, crimes, all that stuff's just rampant, and promoting this scene and actively partaking in it, it's just morally questionable, and there's a question of what did you expect would happen. And so people have been posting things like, "Seth, I have information that will lead to Darkwing84's capture and conviction." I don't know if this guy was joking and being sarcastic or being for real, but Seth Green seems to have thought this was for real and seems desperate enough to be like, please DM me anything that could lead to his capture, to his conviction, whatever he thinks this will all ultimately lead to. People poking fun with memes like "Ape's gone" with this face right here. Scrolling further down, some of the most liked tweets include, "Seth, if it makes you feel any better, this is very funny and was completely predictable." And then one more down here that just says, "Seth, please take down these pictures. You don't own them anymore." Ownership being a big emphasis of NFTs, the fact that they're non-fungible. Oh, they're quite fungible, I'm afraid. This was all then followed up by the following tweet by More Butter TV, who tweeted, "Seth Green's Bored Ape NFT, which was set to star in its own animated show, was stolen through a phishing scam. Green no longer owns the commercial rights to the NFT, and thus the show cannot move forward." And people are loving this. You can see how viral this tweet went, already almost 83,000 likes. And plenty of cheeky responses pretty much celebrating this or poking fun at this have gone viral as well. Charlie W, for example, tweeted this meme, "You're laughing. Peep MILF Hunter 69 lost his $200,000 life savings on his booby butt 420 Farcoin investment, and you're laughing." Honestly, this doesn't sound any less ridiculous than this whole Seth Green situation or any of the myriad thefts and heists that were successfully carried out by hackers and thieves. Here's another tweet that garnered quite a number of likes. "Oh, I'm afraid these tokens will be quite fungible when your friends arrive." Here's one more for good measure. Here we have Spider-Man, the guy who stole Mona Lisa in 1911. Here we have Green Goblin, me stealing Seth Green's ape JPEG. You and I are not so different. Now, Seth Green is insisting that he hasn't lost the rights to produce this NFT show. He tweeted, "Not true about me not owning the commercial rights since the art was stolen. A buyer who purchased stolen art with real money and refuses to return it is not legally entitled to exploitation usage of the underlying IP. It'll go to court, but I'd prefer to meet Darkwing84 before that. Seems we'd have lots in common." If by that you mean being suckers, then yeah, you two are practically twins. Here we also have a tweet where Seth Green gives a bit more context for how this phishing scam was carried out. "Scam Guttercat's clone site. I'm crazy careful with separate wallets and security, but still got. Luckily, it's art, not crypto, so they can be traced. For anyone that bought them, we can work something out." And he eventually discovered the name, the user who bought the NFT off of the phishing scammers was in fact Darkwing84. Now he's just trying to plead with Darkwing84 to please sell his back to me, give it back to me somehow, let's work something out. He seems to, on some level, know that this is going to cause trouble for his ability to have commercial rights to produce this show. He wouldn't seem this desperate otherwise. As for how people have responded to Seth Green insisting that, no, I still own the commercial rights because the art was stolen, well, you've got people like Bob here posting this rather famous meme. This is Jeff Steitzer, for those who don't know, the announcer voice of Halo Multiplayer. He can be seen here saying,
"Bored ape stolen."
Which has garnered already over 11,000 upvotes. You've got people just sarcastically pointing out the harsh reality of this situation. Crypto Nerd, unregulated blockchain currency is the best. Give me all the coins and tokens without the burden of government regulation. Also Crypto Nerd, according to US laws and regulations, the token is mine. I'm the rightful owner regardless of what the blockchain says. As Chief Palpatine once said, ironic. You've got this Business Insider journalist Thomas Maxwell poking fun by saying, my man, the blockchain doesn't lie. If it says Darkwing owns the ape, they own it. And then we got folks just offering the harsh truth like Andres Guadamus here, who tweeted, the art was not stolen because the NFT is not the art. The NFT is some metadata with a link to some art, not the art itself. You didn't buy any IP. At best, you got a license to use someone's art, and the license is dependent on the possession of a token. Here we have another user who speculated, but he didn't steal your art. He stole a receipt that points to a link where the art is. Surely you knew what you were out buying at the time, no? And then he added on top of that, oops, spoke too soon. Bored Yacht Club NFTs come with copyright, so yeah, looks like Green did lose the IP instead of not really having it, which is way funnier. There's actually a section in Bored Yacht Club's official website that details ownership of these NFTs, and here's a section on commercial use. Subject to your continued compliance with these terms, Yuga Labs LLC grants you an unlimited worldwide license to use, copy, and display the purchased art for the purpose of creating derivative works based upon the art, commercial use. Their policy is whoever purchased the NFT art has the right to use it commercially however they want. And in the case of Seth Green, sure, he got scammed out of his NFT, but that NFT eventually got bought by Darkwing84, so now he can use it commercially however he wants, as the blockchain shows that he is currently the owner of the NFT art that the show was supposed to be based off of. The NFT art that Seth Green no longer quote-unquote owns, and therefore can't use it commercially, as it's not his blockchain, not his NFT, his receipt anymore. Now here we have news outlet BuzzFeed News reporting on this with a headline that reads, someone stole Seth Green's Bored Ape, which was supposed to star in his new show. The actor has been pleading on Twitter with Darkwing84, who bought his ape from a scammer, to return it. In this article, they actually spoke to some lawyers who have chimed in on this situation, and while the legal boundaries of NFTs are yet to be solidified because this is such an unregulated landscape, it doesn't sound like things are looking particularly good for Seth Green. It's definitely going to be a complication. On May 8th, an anonymous scammer swiped 4 of Green's NFTs in a phishing scheme. Green mourned his stolen assets on Twitter, where he announced the losses of a Bored Ape, 2 mutant apes, and a doodle, which were transferred out of Green's wallet after he unknowingly interacted with a phishing site. One of the mutant apes was flipped for $42,000, Motherboard reported. Transaction ledgers show the Bored Ape was also sold by the scammer, to a pseudonymous collector known as Darkwing84, who purchased it for more than $200,000. Yeah, with that much money at stake, I don't think he's keen on just like giving it back, unless Seth Green has quite a bit of money to pour his way to buy this from the NFT owner. The article continues, the NFT was then swiftly transferred to a collection called GBE Vault, which is where it currently sits, and there really doesn't seem much in the way of recourse to get this back. Again, this is just such an unregulated landscape that, you know, what are you going to do? And once a scammer manages to sell that NFT, getting that NFT back becomes a much more complicated matter. It's kind of a genie that you cannot really put back in the bottle, from what I understand. And as far as how lawyers have interpreted this situation, here we have a tax and litigation attorney at Alston and Bird LLP, Daniel Dubin, who said this: if the current owner wanted to cause trouble for Seth Green, they probably could, because that person becomes the holder of the commercial usage rights. Now, if the buyer knew they were buying something that was stolen, then potentially there's some legal recourse, but if that's not the case, then it's going to be a complicated matter. Here's what Eric Goldman, an intellectual property and technology law professor at Santa Clara University, said. Bona fide purchasers are legally protected if they buy an item not knowing that it's a hot item. There will be a lot of questions about whether they're buying a stolen NFT and not doing their homework. And then tax and litigation attorney Daniel Dubin added this: because NFTs aren't physical goods, it's interesting to imagine the different ways that IP rights can be affected and the interesting new IP issues that can arise from the fact. I think we're just scratching the surface. How the law develops over time to actually encompass NFTs will be interesting to see, though my hope is that NFTs will crash and burn and vanish from existence so long as the intentions behind them continue to remain greedy, continue to essentially be about these pyramid schemes and Ponzi schemes. It's hard to sympathize with the NFT bros and the people trying to promote this crap when they are actively trying to get people to participate in a landscape that is rife with all of these awful things. So far, no beneficial justification has been provided for their existence. It's all about the attempt of trying to get rich quick. That's why game companies are trying to promote this stuff, because they see the financially lucrative nature. They're not looking at it from the perspective of how do we benefit players and customers through NFTs. They're looking at it through a lens of how can we milk the hell out of this new gold rush? How can we monetize players more through this? How can we make more money through this, regardless of whether it's beneficial to players or not, regardless of how harmful NFTs have proven to be, not just for the environment, but also for people who are partaking in this, not knowing what they're really getting into, who only got into it because you've got these celebrities and these big companies saying that this is the wave of the future, claiming, oh, look at all of these benefits that NFTs will provide while setting unrealistic expectations, all to get people hyped for this thing that they can continue milking at the expense of those who are not part of the lucky few elites who will benefit from this crap. So yes, suffice it to say, I feel zero sympathy for Seth Green in this situation. I feel zero sympathy for anyone trying to promote something that is ultimately harmful, to create artificial scarcity where there doesn't need to be, to turn art into investment opportunities. And not to say that big money doesn't circulate around art, but they aren't just trying to goad investors, they're trying to turn the public into investors and creating these markets that they can exploit the public from. It's ultimately about goading and luring the ignorant and then just taking advantage of them. So yeah, what else is there to say other than let this situation, among the myriad other thefts and heists in the thousands to hundreds of millions of dollars that I've reported on, serve as a lesson and as a warning that this is what NFTs are all ultimately about. Unless there's some major change to the intentions behind them and their application that actually brings about beneficial elements to, the populace as a whole, I will never accept NFTs as something that should be normalized. And I'll continue to laugh in the face of those who try to exploit NFTs and then got burned for it. Or at the very least, that's one man's take on the latest epic fail surrounding NFTs. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Seth Green's Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT getting stolen, leading to the commercial rights surrounding his upcoming NFT show being called into question, and it essentially putting his show on hold until something can be done about this. Share your thoughts below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.